Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So we're seeing the terror cells start. Will they come out soon? I just saw a show just recently, uh, Sean Ryan and Sarah Adams, where they were talking about the terror cells that are here in the thousands of terror cells, thousands of people. And why? Now, they both had the question. Now, both of them were in the CIA like myself. Sean was part of, the Global Response Service like I was. He worked mostly, I believe, in Afghanistan. Worked some in Afghanistan in the early stages. I did Iraq, then I did Afghanistan, and then a lot of Pakistan. I went to Beirut. I went to Libya. So lots of places. So that was all over the map. And those guys they'd worked together. So she's a targeting specialist. So what would happen is I would work with, protecting guys in the field that were gathering information. And then that was normally sent to the CIA. They would have analysts that would look through it. And then there would be a targeter if there was going to be a strike on certain individuals that we had deemed and found that were terrorists or part of terrorist cells. Now, we have them in America on a massive scale. I think the numbers that Sarah Adams came up with was 18,000. And this was revealed by someone that's in charge of looking after these people in America, right? So they predicted somewhere around 18,000. That is staggering because I've seen these guys work as teams in Mumbai. That was just a little over a dozen guys that went around, and they disrupted Mumbai for several days. They get pinned down, and then they blow themselves up and take out everybody that was around them. But they would go floor to floor in hotels and shoot people. So it was crazy. Now, something like that, and I predicted this, will probably happen in America, but on a scale that's somewhat unimaginable when you're looking at 18,000 potential terrorists, and maybe even more that are here in the United States. Now, with the Hamas terrorists, they destroyed Gaza. They just went in and bombed the hell out of the whole place, tunnels and everything. Will America do the same thing? We look at the drone situation that's happening in Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine war. The drone war is unbelievable. It is, they have tanks and armored personnel carriers that try and get, troops into a certain area. And it's usually a one-way trip for them because of all the drone activity. And
with
they put
us.
all this,
And
you see this
oh
like
my
these
God, it
big,
is a hell of a story. Shout out to
big
Emma.
so they can see heat signatures. So if there's troops out, and they don't have infrared protection gear on, because they're actually clothes that you can put on this infrared protective, so that the body heat doesn't come out. So troops are moving around at night. They have IR drones that go in and hit them, blow up troops, individuals. They'll go after an individual. So this drone war is crazy. Now, we've seen down in Mexico that they've already started doing drone stuff, right? I think they shut down just across the border. They shut down an airport. It might have been El Paso. I think Nina was talking about it. So the drone activity is going to be very significant. We've already seen, remember, like a little over a year ago, they had the drones over in New Jersey off the coast and so forth. Now, I said that there are underwater bases, right? Very, very high tech underwater bases. And sure enough, they had said that some were coming out. Now, a submarine could launch a drone or drones. So are there bases underwater? I think so. But, you know, if you don't believe in that, then you can believe that maybe a submarine type, and the submarine itself could be a drone, right? So this drone activity is going to be very substantial, I think, going forward. And it's going to major consequences for those that don't know how to, you know, work a drone war. So it could come in, you know, as a positive if our military has really kicked up its drone capabilities. I think they have, but I'm not sure. But I think that you know, these guys, when they hit, not if, when they hit, they will come and they will hit multiple cities simultaneously, Al-Qaeda style. So Al-Qaeda would do multiple attacks simultaneously, you know, to take resources away from certain areas. And then they would have, within a very short time frame, sometimes within hours, after one group, you know, had set off a roadside bomb or improvised bomb or something that they had rolled in. And as others would come in, like medical personnel and families and so forth, they set off another explosive or come in with more people shooting everybody up. So I don't think our law enforcement is ready for that. And Sarah Adams talked about that in Sean Ryan's show, which I highly recommend everybody watch. Right. So it's going to give you a greater picture of what's going on. So these guys, like myself, fought against these guys overseas. Now, they had the question, and they were stumped. Why are we still funding to the tune of, I think, $88 million a week or something crazy to the Taliban in Afghanistan? It's still ongoing, even though it's been you know, brought up and exposed and so forth. It's still ongoing. So why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Are they training these guys up and they're going to use them? Right? Like 9/11. So 9/11, a lot of those guys that were supposedly on those planes weren't on those planes, and some of them, you know, years later was like, that's my name, but I've been living in Pakistan this whole time, and I never left. I was never I never even went to America. So there was that. So who was putting that information out? All right. So who would have control of that? CIA, FBI, right? So our three-letter agencies are extremely corrupt. I say they just have to be disbanded completely. Some people are like, well, we could rehabilitate it. I don't think so. I don't think so. Right? I think the FBI needs to go away. We have good law enforcement out there, because what we're seeing is the FBI showing up and they're stupid. They're dumbasses. I saw this with J6. I was at a trial and there were a couple FBI agents that were there for this. You guys remember the grandmother that was, you know, they were going to convict her. They did convict her. I was like, what the hell is the FBI even involved in this for? It's obvious this is bullshit. So they're political puppets, the FBI and the CIA. Political puppets don't belong in any organization that's of the federal government. All right. So these puppets that are in these organizations need to find new jobs or something else. I don't know. Maybe they're going to fight for their jobs. I don't know. But As it is right now, those two organizations are causing a lot of problems for American people, right? And supposedly we're paying for their salaries, and they're effing us up, right? So why would we continue to pay their salaries? There's a huge movement not to pay taxes, and the more we find out, the less we're likely going to pay those taxes, right? So there are other ways they make these monies. I can tell you, right? So I've seen it. They make money through illegal activities within their own organizations, right? Yes, the FBI has illegal organizations that collect money for the FBI, probably secret projects and so forth. Same thing with the CIA, right? Black projects and so forth, money laundering schemes, taking taxpayer money. I remember being in CIA. I was like, how the hell does taxpayer money pay for this, all the shit we do? Like, there's no way. And then I started to see in the background that there was other things that were going on, right? And this stems all the way back to Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany did human trafficking. They did all kinds of illicit drug trafficking. They did all kinds of illicit stuff. The same thing that we're seeing now with our agencies, right? CIA and FBI. It's being exposed more and more, right? And most of the people now that I think they're hiring us, yeah, obviously they're good people in those organizations. I was in those organizations. Sean Ryan was in those organization. And Sarah Adams was in organizations. A lot of us that are in those organizations are like, WTF, why are these wars still going on? We're crushing these guys, and yet it keeps going on. There's only one way that they could keep going on. CIA and FBI. Only one way. Only one way. So that's what I would, say to Sean and Sarah, that they have plans for these people like they did with 9/11, right? So they will use them, these useful idiots, any way they desire and as they deem fit, because they've been probably trained with our money, our taxpayer money, right? And from, obviously, from illicit activities that fund, child trafficking, probably extreme amount of money that's made through child trafficking, probably $1 trillion a year or more. And then the drug trafficking, another $1 trillion or more a year. So these, and if the FBI and the CIA are so good, why are we still subjected to that? Hello, right? So they need to go away. They need to absolutely, positively go away. Will the Trump administration be able to do that? I don't think so. Right? So anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Now, let me play a little clip from Sean Ryan and Sarah Adams. And if you've not seen the Sean Ryan show, I highly recommend it. I think everybody here has probably watched Sean Ryan quite a bit. So CIA targeter responds to FBI uncovering secret biolab with mystery vials. That's the title, right? But they go into a whole lot more.
I don't know. I know they have patience, and I know they can be sophisticated. I guess I just related that to when we were over there, and it's like, oh, it's getting hit again. Oh, we're getting hit again. Oh, this is the third fucking time tonight we're getting hit. And so I don't know. I do crazy assumption of mine to think that they would be impatient, wanting to attack us.
Yeah, I am going to explain a piece of that, though, because it is really important you're thinking. First, I'm going to talk about one thing. So obviously there are dates, right? There's a dates for certain things. So they had to have all the pre-attack surveillance, training, bomb making done by like the third week of December of 2025. So right now they are operationally capable to pull off an attack, if that makes sense, because they've done every pre-attack thing. But here's the part we don't really talk about publicly, because I do think once the first major thing happens, the US will be America and we'll stop whatever happens. But what the plan is from the second generation of terrorists is that the waves never stop. So there's this big plot I told you about, but then in 2 or 3 months later, they want to put another major attack in and keep doing it. And so when Joe Kent says there's 18,000 terrorists on U.S. soil.
Did you just say 18,000?
Yes.
Last time we talked, we were thinking it was 1,000.
Yeah. Well, I've always thought it was about 8,000, but he actually testified recently that it's 18,000 known Islamist terrorists on U.S. soil. So what a lot of people...
Okay, so you got to ask yourself, how are they able to be here when we have FBI and CIA, which is supposed to be keeping them out? Because they're letting them in, they're funding them, and they're going to project them in whatever attack is coming, or attacks, because you're seeing that Sarah Adams is talking about multiple attacks back to back to back to back.
Why haven't they attacked yet? Some of them are for those future waves.
Holy shit.
So Al-Qaeda put 1,000 in the first wave, as we know, but there's future waves. And there was a meeting ISIS actually had. So remember, like, the U.S. was putting out a lot of propaganda, like, we're going to get the worst of the worst and take off all these people out of the United States. So ISIS started freaking out, and they had a meeting, and they're like, we need to figure out how many actually terrorists we have in the United States that could get wrapped up in these operations. And they realized they had over 2,500 ISIS members. That's just Syria and Iraq in the United States illegally. So that doesn't count anyone in a green card, because they sent a lot through the program, just like the Afghanistan one. It's just as corrupt. They sent, Iraqis through who are ISIS, people who got recruited here, etc. So that's just one terrorist group. So we also have to remember these numbers are massive. I mean, 19 did 9/11, and Joe Kent says there's 18,000, and we have no mass campaign to wrap these people up and deport them. So
why don't we have a campaign to wrap them up and get them out if we know they're here? Which we do. All right, I can tell you, I'm not even on any of these boards or involved in any of the intelligence gathering and so forth. I know they're here, right? I know from the open border that they're here. The open border that we have for 4 years. Now, are they still coming over? Do you think that border is completely shut down with all those tunnel systems that we've been shown over the years? Really? Do you think it's shut down? They've been telling us it's shut down. They even say that all of this conspiracy theory stuff that's out there, where there's terrorists and so forth that are gathering to eventually attack us, that's all bullshit. All right, so the FBI is not really looking into that, right? Sarah Adams talked about it. She has contacts still, and they give her information. So she's been reporting stuff constantly. The FBI has come to her house and have questioned her, and she has, for the most part, laughed at them because of the level of their training and so forth. One guy was like, I guess, 60 years old, and his claim to fame was he was very much involved with J6. What? You're involved in the political operation, J6? Yeah, you're what the F, So we got some real problems with these people. So we, the people, need to be prepared, and our law enforcement needs to be prepared, right? And start to look at this. Now, they also talk about, and I'm gonna put this out there, of like these somewhat invisible sticky bombs and so forth that they can put on cars or anywhere really, and motion will set them off. And that's one of the things that they're going to probably use, but they'll use everything, all kinds of different devices and so forth. Some of them probably high tech at this point. So they'll also probably use American-made weapons, so that the Americans will see, once these attacks start, and there's massive numbers of people being killed, which will happen because we're not prepared for it, and no one's doing anything about it. So when, not if, when they come, when they start, and who knows what is going to trigger these people that are manipulating this into eventual happening, what is going to trigger them? What event are they looking for? Are they going to be crashing, which they've already planned, up to 12 aircraft at once? Because they only supposedly, did a few aircraft in the past, but of course we knew, like I've been saying over and over again, that some of these activities that they do are hijacked and hijacked, like hijacked planes, right? They hijack those operations and make them fit the way they want, right? So these terrorists are thinking they're going to do certain missions and so forth, and they're probably funded with U.S. money, hide sites and so forth where they're hiding, living in certain areas throughout the cities of the United States, and they're waiting for their cue to go, right? So these cues will come from some organization that's controlling them here in the United States, right? So since we have all of these Al-Qaeda types that are here, and from from almost every Middle Eastern terrorist group that's out there, Al-Shabaab, Al-Shabaab has been funded by Milwaukee and probably some other states that are giving money to these Somalis, which send it back to their countries. Of course, these political types and so forth are getting a windfall from that. They're living, I've seen some of them, like the governor of Colorado, that's living in a very massive multi-million-dollar state, right? Now, he comes from money, so we can't say that that's the only way he got it, like some of these people in Congress and so forth, and they've been pointed out, right? But a lot of them are really, really, deeply part and knowingly, wittingly part of this criminal organization that's bringing these terrorists into this country, right? So you'll see, the Republicans will say the Democrats are so evil, and of course the Democrats say the same thing. And then in the quiet spaces where no one sees them, they're like high-fiving and doing dinner and joking and having a great old time. They don't hate each other. They're all part of the same bullshit, right? So the political system goes away, CIA, FBI goes away, and so many other organizations here in the United States have to go away, right? So they're all involved in this. Now, how is this going to be exposed? It's being exposed. I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you, it's very common sense, obvious, right? We're seeing the Jeffrey Epstein files come out, and some of this is starting to leak out. Some of these criminal activities, some of this involvement, I think more and more is going to come out. Like I've said before, everybody's focused on the crazy sexual perversion that all of these people at the very top do. They all do that. They're raised that way. And this has been for generation after generation after generation, thousands of years, right? So that is nothing. That's a nothing burger that's going to take your attention away from what the real situation is, right? The funding of very, very nefarious organizations and so forth that are intent on destroying America. America is the only light of the world right now. And so they're going to have to do something very major. Now, the Trump administration, ICE and so forth, maybe quietly, I would say they are to a certain extent, are finding and taking down a lot of these cells, right? But it's not enough. It's not enough. They're admitting there's 18,000 here. They're well hidden. They're well entrenched, and probably, have political positions in some places. So they have access to a lot of information. So yeah, this is going to continue, and it's going to get worse. So at some point, we'll look at 9/11 and I saw many of you had comments on 9/11. We're still, I guess, learning and figuring that out. All right, some people. It's a tragic day, obviously, because they pulled a real major one over on us. One that had been planned for, multi-generations going all the way back to JFK. They wanted JFK to do that 9/11 type attack, and so that he could go and, go after Cuba. I guess where they had a lot of money and, the casinos and stuff. So they wanted to get down there and get access to that. And of course they get, taken away from them. So there are going to be many attacks coming forward, many, right? I've said this for a long time. And I've looked at this and I've said that many cities will be destroyed. All right. So again, imagine as these attacks start and they come in wave after wave after wave after wave. Maybe even as they're learning from the response that's happening, how to coordinate better, how to overcome the response, the timing of the response, and so forth. All of this is what people that are trained at this level are capable of doing, right? I'm capable of doing that, and I know these people have been trained to my level. I won't say beyond my level. I doubt highly it's possible, but imagine me. I would be a machine if I was activated, and if I was activated on them, I would be a machine. So there's many of us like that, but we're going to be stopped out. So we're going to have to activate ourselves at some point, and we're going to have to coordinate with ourselves at some point, and coordinate with sheriffs and city councils that are good and so forth to overcome the coming attacks, right? So it is not something that is not you can like just blow off, right? You need to start thinking about this, because this is not something that, from my experience, is something you can blow off, right? I've been talking about this for years, preparing everybody for it. We're getting down to the wire. We're seeing, a lot of activity against the deep state. So the deep state, with Jeffrey Epstein files and other stuff that's being revealed on them, they're going to push back. So Matt, so a lot of you are like, the Clinton death list, probably well over 100. Who knows, maybe even hundreds. The ones that we know about are in the 100, plus range. So imagine the Clintons times 1,000, 10,000, right? So that would be more in line, because they've already pulled off something like 9/11. And no one went to jail for that. And Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton aren't going to jail, right, anytime soon, right? So I know a lot of us are thinking they will, but I think probably some of these people have been taken care of. But you got to know that when there is something, an action, there's often a counter reaction to that. So the white hats can only go so far. White hat. The white hats can only go so far before they start getting, some serious blowback. Maybe threats, maybe a nuke here. You do this, you take down Hillary and Bill, we're going to nuke the city, and we're going to blame it on terrorists, right? So that kind of stuff goes on, and most of us never hear about it. But I can tell you from my experience in the SEAL teams and in the CIA, 35 years, I saw a lot of this stuff in the back channels. Very, very corrupt military types, very, very corrupt politicians, and on and on and on, right? So, and they work hand in hand together. So we have this corruption that's deeply embedded within our system. That's not going to go away anytime soon, right? We've talked about it, but have we seen a lot of movement in the direction of taking these people down? Yeah, we're going to see a lot of people get exposed. We're seeing in Norway, the former prime minister or whatever, Norway. He's under investigation, got arrested, I think. So, but that's in Norway. We're not seeing any of that, and we know that America is the head of the snake, right? Is the head of the snake. So the snake will be protected, the snake's head, because little cuts and so forth here and there are nothing to a snake. It will still inject venom in us, just like in COVID-19, cobra venom. So they have different ways of getting the venom in us, guys, right? So if you didn't see that show that it was Sheila Holm, we talked about how they used a bioweapon against those of us that refused to get that shot, right? So they had the one bioweapon that came out, and it was basically, people got a little bit, it basically affected people's lungs, and they went to the hospital and they killed them in the hospital. We've talked about that. She talked about how she was in an event where none of them had been vaccinated, and they were pushing back on that, and they were targeted in these events that we were having at the time. They still do. They still target us in these events. So those of us that are bringing truth to you are targeted, right? And she was the only one who survived of a very large group. Why did the other ones die? Because they went to the hospital. She didn't go to the hospital. She sought cures outside of the hospital, and she survived. All right, so they have many ways of taking us down, and they're doing all kinds of stuff. The food source, the medical institutions are compromised. They're not of God. Big Pharma, not of God, and Big Pharma is where does most of Big Pharma's stuff come from? The military, right? Military industrial complex, and we talked about that on the show as well. So which part of the military industrial complex? Well, those guys that got the shot and they died from it, those are not the guys. Those are not the ones, right? They targeted, just like they targeted the truther community, and not just people that do podcasts like this, but truthers that are in government, truthers that are in medical and so forth. They target all of us, right? And they've had bioweapons that they've used against us. So yeah, we didn't get the shot, but they had all kinds of directed injury weapons, heart attack machines, all kinds of stuff they used against us, right? So this is an ongoing war, and this war is in the early stages. I know a lot of you are like, oh, come on. This is survival of the fittest, right? So, just like in Navy, I've said several times, this is going to be like Navy SEAL Hell Week training. Not everybody's going to make it, right? A lot of people are going to ring out, and that's what we're seeing, a lot of that, unfortunately. So, as we move forward, those of us that are observant, aware, trust our intuition, and intuition, of course, is connected to God consciousness, then you're going to be able to survive and thrive going forward, but not unless. If you live in fear, I see a lot of you, I promote silver, and a lot of you have gotten into silver, but this little pullback has so many people in fear. That's too bad, right? That's crazy to me, right? So you've gotten some incredible benefits from getting into silver, probably a level you never dreamed of, like myself, and now you want to like just scream and cry. Oh, it's like stop yourself, stop yourself. All right, has resisted the bioweapon injection, and that's good. Some people didn't, and some people that use LifeWave have benefited that did get that injection in different ways, right? So it is an ongoing attack. Yeah, you might survive this attack, but they got many more planned. They got many more planned, right? Wave after wave after wave after wave after wave. And until we take them down, and who are them? Well, we know who they are. We've been pointing them out for a long time, right? So until they get removed from the scene permanently, they're going to continue, right? So you're like, who, Mike? Who? We've talked about several governors that are part of the plan to destroy us, right? And they're doing a good job. So we're going to talk about that, all right? Let's go into a little bit of that. But first, let's look at President Trump said back in the last week in May, Memorial Day, in 2025, that we were going to have a year-long celebration and a countdown to America's 250th anniversary on July 4th. So 135 days and 3 hours and 23 minutes away, as I'm speaking, from that event. And now a lot of people said that, a lot of things are going to get done before that. That's a possibility. There could be a lot of things that are done before that. Will everything be done? Will we go and celebrate and be very happy? It's a possibility, but I doubt it, right? So I think there's a lot of work to be done, guys. All right, so under the president's leadership, the salute to America's 250 Task Force 250, has commenced the planning of a full year of festivities, and we've seen a lot of these already, right? And they're going to continue, right? So it is a monumental time for America, but there are forces out there that want to destroy America, and they're doing a pretty good job of it, right? And that's probably something we're going to have to fight through going forward. Now, the Navy and Marines, July 9th, had their last year had their celebration, because of course, what happened? It wasn't like we got independence and it just happened, right? It's like, yeah, Britain, yeah, we don't play anymore. You're like taxing us, and we don't like that. We don't like that at all. So we're saying to you that we're going to split. And so they're like, so the deep state said, we're going to like hammer you. We're going to burn your cities. And those of you that are, the leaders, we're going to destroy your plantations, and on and on and on. Many of the people that signed the Declaration of Independence, many of them were financially destroyed during the Revolutionary War, right? And we didn't have, everybody in America wasn't against the British. They had loyalists, remember? The loyalists fought against the terrorists. That's what we were, I guess, the patriots. We're called patriots now, but back then they called us terrorists because that's a British term, and we still use it, of course, to call out terrorists now. Now, will the Islamists that are here in America, that have been invited here by a lot of presidents over the years, not Donald Trump, but a lot of presidents over the years, will they be, will it be like a revolutionary war for them? That's what they plan. Yeah, that's what they plan. So it's going to be a revolution. Just like our patriots are going to fight us. Right? See the bigger picture now? All right. So we had the Marines, we had the Army, we had the Navy fight against the real terrorists, who were the British, and they're still terrorists of us to this day, right? So we're going to have to stop them. We have to shut them down. Now you see President Trump walking in front of the Queen, who's gone now, and the King, who's gone now, the old ones, right? They got new ones now, but it looks like their new king's about ready to go too. And a lot of people in the royal family have gone bye-bye, right? So there are movements, and there is, things that are happening in the background. All right. So yeah, Janet, anyone that disrespects me will be timed out. If they disrespect me very badly, they should go away forever, right? But you can have your opinion. I respect that. But if you're coming in with nasty attacks, then you don't belong. All right, and so of course I'm bringing up some information. I'm talking about some organizations that will probably like to silence me, and they're little minions that come in and make those comments, or some of them, right? Some of their minions, right? CIA and FBI and so forth. So when you see them, you have to think to yourself, is that the FBI and CIA that are effing with mine? Yes, probably. All right, so many different things celebration-wise are going to happen. So we're still going to enjoy, love each other, love our fellow man, and want peace and so forth. But they're going to attack us. But in the meantime, we're going to do some nice things.
Just made Navy Pier the official start of Route 66. This comes as everyone across the U.S. is celebrating Route 66 100th birthday. That's happening all year long. Now, the original start of Route 66 used to be in the Loop at Adams Street and Michigan Avenue, but moving it here to Navy Pier makes it a lot more scenic and, frankly, a lot more fun. It also makes it a peer-to-peer route, starting here at Lake Michigan and ending at the Santa Monica Pier in California. Did you know the city of Chicago just made Navy?
So that's pretty cool, right? So there's going to be celebrations. There has been already. They're going to continue. We love our country. We're going to do things to continue to keep our country, high on our list of things that we love, right? For God, family, and country, right? So there's definitely a movement moving in the right direction, right? Whether everyone is with us, it doesn't matter, because with God's help, we're taking down an evil system. So the Luciferian system, of course, they want to play God. So you're asking yourself, why would they want to do that? Because they want to be like God, right? And they want to create their own type thing. Now we create with God's help and in God's light and so forth, of course, but they create with the fallen one, right? Lucifer, that guy that stands at the harbor of New York, right? Statue of unfreedom. Because look at the statue of what they call freedom, and there is a chain around that statue, and that is a man that's holding that torch. So we know that when Lucifer came, he was called the enlightened one, of the light, right? So that's what we have in New York Harbor, and it's been in our face for all this time. And I know a lot of you are waking up to that, but there are going to be a lot of things like that, and who knows? Maybe there's like, okay, that's their statue, but we're just going to make it ours, right? I'm not a fan of that. I say melt that shit down and make it useful. But we'll always have to I say always in our lifetimes. And will I live to be over 100? I think so, and that's a long time from now. Double, I think what I am now. I will be living in that, because we know that once all of the godless big pharma, which is, God said that he gave the plants and animals to us, right? What does big pharma and Lucifer want? They create like these food sources that are not, they're fake everything. And then they have these injections and stuff they put in us that are not of the earth realm, right? They're created. They're monstrosities that are created by evil. And that's what they inject into a lot of people and kill them with that stuff. So that's a lot of stuff we have to overcome, because a lot of people are dumbed down to this. Their consciousness believes that all of these things are working in their behalf. So your kids are taught that your father or mother will die someday, but the government will be here to help you and protect you. No, that's absolutely the opposite, right? So there's always going to be, until we take them away, I say always, but sometimes I think they're, how are we ever going to win against these guys? But I know that we are. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I know that if we keep our focus and our consciousness clean, that and stay out of fear and stay in the love vibration, that we're moving in the right direction. Now there's always these signs that are out there, and a lot of these signs that come through. A lot of you don't want to believe them because you believed in some of these people and some of these things that are out there, and you don't want to lose those beliefs. You're going to have to let go of a lot of beliefs. All right. So this is Numbers Games with Zachary Hubbard. He's been doing this for years. He basically calls out everything as he sees it. I love this information. They go by numbers. It's a numbers game to them. And I like to present these things when they really pop. And he really made it pop on this one. So listen to this one.
Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Tuesday morning, February 17th, 2026, the first day of the year of the horse. And it's Michael Jordan's birthday, a larger-than-life icon, highly associated with the city of Chicago. And on this day, Jesse Jackson is dead in Chicago. And if you've read the articles, all of them point out, had he not ran for president in 1984, there never would have been a Barack Obama.
All right, so he's gonna start off with the number 84 and see how they weave these numbers into all of these. So Jesse Jackson sacrificed, right? Yeah, he was sick, but they said they hold out until a certain day, and then they probably give him like a COVID injection. I don't know, but some kind of lethal injection. And then these people go on the day that they want them to go.
And quite interesting because 1984 is the year that Michael Jordan was drafted into the NBA. And it's also similar to 8/4, August 4th, which is Obama's birthday and the time of Leo the Lion. And right now we have a American Pope, the first time ever, who's from Chicago, who's Pope Leo. We talked about Jesse Jackson back in November because he was the headline that he had been hospitalized with illness. And we pointed out then, hospitalized at age 84 on the Superior General's birthday. And of course, 84 is a very specific number to the Superior General. In Gematria, Superior General equates to 84. You might recall the last Superior General, Adolfo Nicholas, died at age 84, and he died on the anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola, the first Superior General, who died 84 days from his birthday. But Adolfo Nicholas died on the anniversary of.
All right, so I'm gonna preload this. We've had Leo Zagami on, and I thought it was Gazarian Mafia that ran the world, but he says it is basically the Catholic, I just lost their name, Jesuits. So Jesuits are basically controlling the world. So this is what Zachary's pointing out, all of these numbers, all these connections and so forth. The Jesuits are running our country. The Jesuits are running the world. So Leo Zagami has talked about this, written some great books on that. I have many shows with him. And Zachary Hubbard's talked about it.
Ignatius of Loyola beginning his monkdom, or whatever you want to call it, what led him to become the Superior General. So we've established throughout history how important this 84 number is to the Superior General and the Jesuits. Again, this order that doesn't get talked about by many in the truth community who blame everything on small hats, which is not what's really going on. Again, last night we were talking to one of these delusional people who didn't care about knowledge or information and just wanted to stay in his realm of false beliefs because that's where he's comfortable. But again, if you actually open.
So this is one of the problems that we have going forward, because people want to hold on to their false beliefs, right? And they will fight you for their false beliefs. That is part of the MK Ultra control, mind control that happens. We saw this during the lockdown, where people would go full on Nazi if you weren't wearing your mask, if you weren't 6 feet away from the person in front of you, self-appointed, mind controlled Nazis. right? They expect this will happen. And this is what we're seeing right now. A lot of these people are mind controlled and they're in the way for us, reaching freedom, real freedom.
Eyes and peel off the wool and start looking at what's actually going on, you'll see who really runs the show in this world and who is taking these lives by a code. Again, Jesse Jackson, hospitalized at age 84 on the Superior General's birthday, and now dead in Chicago on a Chicago icon's birthday. Michael Jordan, and one more time, Jordan came into the NBA in 84, the same year that Jesse Jackson ran for president. Again, one more time, 84 is a lot like August 4th, Obama's birthday, who claimed the presidency in Chicago, and all of this morning's article.
All right, so we know that these deep staters want to do a fake alien invasion, Project Bluebeam. We just had, Mr. Obama that has just come out recently and said that aliens were real. And then the next day he retracts it. Interesting, right? So feeding into the narrative and then detracting it for disinformation purposes. So this is a constant push and pull that these negative people do.
They don't seem to mention Michael Jordan, but they definitely mention Obama, who of course was a big basketball fan. So let's go through how perfect this ritualism is and how it's also synced up with the death of Martin Luther King Jr. Let's not forget that MLK was killed in a Jesuit ritual. We just brought this up again yesterday, trying to enlighten our asleep one who thinks he's awake.
And Jesse Jackson was with Martin Luther King when he was killed.
Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in a sick Jesuit joke on the 95th day of the year. And he assumed the name Martin Luther, not his birth name, after Martin Luther, who wrote the 95 Theses, which began the Protestant Reformation, which is what brought about the Jesuit order, the military order of the Catholic Church, to stop it. And there is a parallel here with the death of the real Martin Luther and how many days before MLK's death anniversary it is. So we'll get to that in a minute, but let's go through this step by step, and let's start right here. Remember, the feds, for people who don't know, your federal government is definitely controlled by the Jesuit order. Yes, our nation is not sovereign. It is controlled by the Jesuits who serve.
All right. So definitely want to follow Zach Hubbard. He's I've been following him for years. He basically lines it all out. He basically gives us all the info, and it makes it like yeah, I can't believe that I fell for that. Like, yeah, that was obviously a ritual going on there. So the rituals will continue until they're stopped. And so you look for their rituals, and you start to see them, like 9/11, right? Emergency call, 9/11. So they did their ritual on that day. And there's lots of other things that are connected to that. And we've talked I remember many years, and when Facebook first came out, I would talk about, and I would do a full presentation of all the BS connected to 9/11. And in the early stages, I got a lot of pushback, right? But now, there's no one comes in and F's with me now. So the information is overwhelming, but there's still people that believe in the 9/11 ritual narrative, right? And there's still people that will deny it, even to this day, that are in positions of where they should know better. One of them, now I have a friend that was on the Joe Rogan show, and he asked Joe Rogan about 9/11. He thought it was going to get, it was matter of fact, it was like 9/11, and it's like blah, blah, blah. Joe Rogan was like, what? Yeah. Joe Rogan was like, what? Okay, so you need to know, who out there is part of them. Yes, they will come in and they will give us good information. I remember I was like, talking a lot about, hydroxychloroquine and all the other things that you could do, ivermectin. And I guess Joe Rogan, I'm like canceled off of YouTube and Facebook all over the place talking about it. And Joe Rogan comes on and talks about how he does it and he doesn't get taken down. Well, so there are a lot of people out there that talk good stuff and bring us good information. He does do that. I haven't watched the shows in a long time, but I know that he still probably does some good stuff. And that's part of the narrative too, for their inserts to come in and give us good truth and then seed us with untruths, right? So you're going to have to be the one that does the discerning. Now I can look and I used to work around people that I knew were very, very corrupt and very evil because I had to. I'm like, well, I'm doing my mission. I know they're over there. If I say anything, then I'm out, right? So because they're the powerful ones, right? So you can be around these people and you can get good information and they can work with you to a certain extent. We've all done this. Whether you're aware of it or not, you've done this. All right. So once you become aware of it, you'll start to notice it more and more and more, and then you won't get involved, right? You won't get sucked into it consciously. And that's very important going forward. Now, states. I said states, governors, evil as hell, right? Hell governors are in the United States, right? One of those is in Colorado. All right, so Jared, so we know that these evil Democrats come into our states and destroy our states. We see this ongoing process happening on a massive scale in California right now, New York, Chicago, Illinois, very, very evil people that are running those states extremely. Now I work on those people in the other dimensional realms and send them lots of love and go in and destroy their demons that are around them. But they're still there. It takes time, and I guess when it's God's time, they go bye-bye. Right? Usually go bye-bye. I'll let you know. Right? When they go bye-bye, and they're going to go bye. And one of them, I think, has already gone bye-bye. Somebody's playing his part. So Palantir, Colorado's largest public company, has just informed Colorado that they're leaving. What many reasons why they're leaving. We're going to talk about that. But this is what these evil people, I could say Democrats. Yeah, all the Democrats are pretty much in my mind and from what I'm seeing, completely compromised. But Republicans to a great extent as well, right? So I think both political parties need to go away, right? But that's just my thoughts, all right? So are people listening to Mike and making things happen? No, right? I can share them with you, and you're like thousands, tens of millions of you will say, hell yeah, let's get rid of these idiots. But they're still there, right? So the largest public company in Colorado is leaving Denver for Miami. Now, they had started in I think Palo Alto in California, and things got so bad there they left, and now things are so bad in Colorado they're leaving. So controversial, of course, is the Orlando Sentinel. You have to watch. You'll get some truth, and then you'll get some bullshit. So controversial. It's no controversial aspect of this at all. This company is in a shitbag state, and they're getting the hell out. So controversial data analysis firm, because they are helping ICE track down baddies and illegals and so forth. So of course, in California, they didn't want them there for that. And in Colorado, in Denver, they don't want them there for that, right? So these mindless idiots, these drones, these useful idiots are basically, protesting this company. And so like, let's get the hell out. and that's what they're going to do. They did it before, they'll do it again. So the largest public company with a market value of $312.2 billion announced on social media Tuesday, and this is how they let them know on social media, that it has relocated from Denver to Miami. It's like, see ya, losers. All right. So the company has faced multiple protests during its time in Denver, initially for its support of the Israeli military, and more recently for working with U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement to use artificial intelligence to identify targets for deportation. This is the idiots. They say no AI for ICE. Palantir out of Denver. When a company profits from contracts connected to raids and detention, working people, hello, they're getting murders and maybe some of those terrorists I've been talking about out of your state, morondos, idiot children, all right? And they're children. They have the IQ, they have the emotional IQ of children. So I just call them children. They could be 50, 60, 70, I don't care. Emotional idiots. I don't know what the announcement means. Polis, Governor Jared Polis, said he didn't even know. He doesn't care. He's an idiot. He's an idiot trying to destroy Colorado. He's doing a damn good job of it. So he said during a news conference, obviously, what I will be looking to is whether it will affect any jobs in Colorado. Then what? So they're going to like pull thousands of people out of Colorado, morondo. So what are you going to do about it? Nothing, because you can't. It will be constitutionally illegal. All right, so this is what's going on in these moronic Democrat states, right? So they're destroying themselves, nuking. They're nuking themselves, right? They might as well just take an atom bomb and just drop it. These idiots, just drop it, just set it off and nuke your city, all right? Because that's coming probably, not the nuke, but the destruction of their city, right? Denver, I believe, is going to be one of the cities that's going to be destroyed. And you can see why, because they have extreme evil there that's running that state. And then they have evil people that are, doing the protesting and all the other ridiculousness. All right, so there's a lot of problems in Colorado. All right, so let's listen to this other one. Now, I have said this. I have said that Colorado and Jared and a lot of the politicians in Colorado are profiting from illicit activities, and that's why they have so many gangs now in Colorado.
This is a tough subject, but sometimes getting it front and center, people, is the way you fix it. The human trafficking levels in Colorado off the chart, all-time highs. What's driving such a surge in this state?
Yeah, I mean, you know my background. I was a police officer for over 10 years in the Denver metro area in Colorado before I got involved in politics. And that's what drove me to politics, was watching public safety, watching the number of victims in Colorado increase because of the public safety collapse. When I started my law enforcement career, Colorado was better than the national average for our crime rate. We're now the second most dangerous state in the country. Fentanyl overdose death rates are going up in Denver, Colorado in 2025. And I think that's directly connected to the human trafficking that you mentioned.
So who could allow that? It's not just CIA and FBI guys. It's also the governors and the political realm that allows this and wants this to come through because they're profiting from it. Right? Everybody's profiting from this, right? This is pure evil, and they're all profiting, and they're going to continue to profit until they're taken out.
Because it turns out if a criminal organization, a cartel, a drug dealing ring has the logistics and the infrastructure and the connections to be able to traffic drugs, you know what else they can traffic? Unfortunately, they can traffic human beings as well. We know this is a part of the business model. And so when you have soft on crime policies around drugs, you also, by proxy, are very vulnerable to human trafficking. And I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing the human trafficking rates skyrocket in Colorado.
Yeah, that's really, really disturbing. The regulatory, or maybe the legal posture of the state seems to be a big contributor. It's sort of become a keep police hands off of everything, let the bad guys back on the street. It seems to recycle crime. Is there any sense among the electorate that maybe they've tired of the Polis era of Colorado?
All right, so we're seeing this in all these states that I mentioned: Colorado, California, Illinois, New York, and probably a handful of other states that are probably just as bad, right? They let their criminals out within a very short period of time of going in. Now, listen to some of the people that have been arrested and then released, and it's staggering.
I think so. We just had a tragic case a couple of weeks ago that came to a conclusion where a lady driving recklessly ended up hitting and killing a police officer, got probation for killing a cop, literally got probation. There was another case that made the news in Colorado, actually in my district, where somebody who attempted to kidnap and sexually assault a minor girl got 90 days in jail for that crime and then some probation after that. And so this...
All right, there's so much. This is pure evil that's going on in Colorado, right? We know this. It's very obvious. It needs to be stopped. It doesn't seem to be anyone, active to do that. And, there's other things that are obviously going on there. Remember in Colorado, they tried to get Trump knocked off the ballot for president. So it went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Colorado cannot disqualify Donald Trump from the ballot. And a lot of other states were lining up to do it too. And when the Supreme Court came, a lot of Democrat states, and when the Supreme Court came in and said, no, you dumb effers, you can't do that. It's in the Constitution. All right, so they knew that, but they're trying to usurp our Constitution. I believe our Constitution, for the most part, is, except for later things are added, I think our Constitution is basically of and from God, right? So he was basically allowed to go into constitutions, or they couldn't disqualify him. They couldn't enforce it under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment for federal candidates. This decision allows Trump to remain on the ballot for the presidency primary in Colorado. So only Congress, the states don't have authority to do it, only Congress, and this is the way it's outlined. So other states that were trying to push this, Maine and Illinois, all right, they tried to also disqualify Trump. And when the Supreme Court came down, it was like, no bueno, right? You cannot, no good, you idiots. Right? So useful idiots. Jared, all right, you and your boy partner, all right. Tina Peters, the former Mesa County clerk in Colorado, was sentenced to 9 years in prison for her involvement in a data breach scheme. All right, so of course we know that she was exposing their corruption. So here they are trying to use whatever they say is, because they use it on Tina Peters, whatever we say, you're convicted. So she couldn't have anybody come in and testify her. She couldn't bring in anything that was basically, you guys are way out of line. You can't, this shouldn't even be in a court. And they convicted her for 9 years in prison, right? This is pure evil that's going on in Colorado. So they tried to disqualify Trump because they're saying that he was part of insurrection that happened on J6. Remember, they pushed that narrative. And then now it's going to turn around and bite their asses, right? Because it was bullshit, and it was worse. It was worse than Pearl Harbor, right? Remember that you said that January 6th. It was worse than Pearl Harbor. I think there's a lot of veterans, myself included, that would say, you guys are way effing out of line, right? So, Colorado lawmakers must cut $1 billion from state's current budget because of GOP federal tax and spending bill. Oh, did you, Colorado, did you FAFO? Right, so I think so. So there's over $1 billion that's going to be cut from Colorado. Right? So you guys, you tried to like disqualify me. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take away the money, because we take away the money, your state will collapse, and we'll eventually probably get some money in there because all the idiots will probably be destroyed. Right? I can't imagine anything else. God works in mysterious ways, so who knows how that's going to happen? But some way, somehow, the Luciferian agenda is going to be stopped out in Colorado. I firmly believe that, because I believe most of that beautiful state, and it is quite beautiful, has very good people in it, and you just have a few idiots that are running the show. How did we ever let it get to this point? I don't know. I guess it's a learning curve that we're having to go through. All right, so they're having to cut a lot of stuff, and it hasn't been this bad since I guess 2008 during the housing and stock market crash. So how are they going to fix that? How are they going to fix that? All right, so they're going to do more taxes. All right, so how did how did we become free and independent from Britain? Unfair taxation. Oh, I guess you guys are part of still the British Empire or something. All right, so they're going to do a new tax the wealthy plan. The wealthy, it's because of the states that they get wealthy. So the state's just going to take it back and distribute it out, right? To the people that don't have as much. So if you don't have as much and you see them stealing from the wealthy, it's going to come for you eventually. It's going to come for you eventually. And I'm not saying that I'm wealthy, but every time that I've moved up in the scale, they want to take more from me, a lot more. It's like, you didn't take the risk. You didn't do all the bullshit I went through. And now you want to just, what are you, like mafia? And that's what it's like, guys. We should do away with taxation, which is coming, and property taxes and all that stuff. Because where's all that money going? It's going to them. I mean, look at Colorado. That's why the reason why they have to raise taxes on the wealthy and drive people out like Palantir and other wealthy people there that would make Colorado a much better, and did in the past, make Colorado a better place. They're going to steal from them. And they're going to take that money and they're going to pocket it, right? They're going to money launder it like they're doing right now, like we're finding out in Minneapolis, and we're starting to find out in California. I keep saying we're going to find over $1 trillion worth of fraud in California, close to that in Illinois, and close to that in New York, right? So they want to tax. They say they want to tax the wealthy because everybody's like, the wealthy are like, that's why we're not rich, because those people, they're wealthy. That's stupid as shit, right? They're the ones that bring the jobs, right? So that's what the demon rats do when they get into positions of authority over us. And remember, they should have no authority over us. They are our representatives. So you people in Colorado, you need to fix that bullshit. You need to fix that shit, right? So now you see how we're the LifeWave stuff. We have a special going on in LifeWave right now. We have the X39, which is our signature. It activates your stem cells along with our Cellergize. So Cellergize Morning basically has great stuff in it, and it activates very good stuff in you. So if we look at that, we can tell that, give products to the SEAL teams. You know, current and guys that basically are all broken up like me, give them to retired. Now, he was going to go through we were going to go through the SEAL organization, and they're all excited. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Of course, they took it to their higher ups, and their higher ups were like negative. Wow. So, yeah, there's corruption everywhere, guys. It's very frustrating, but you don't have everybody telling you no, you can get the product. So get them, get some. All right, so you guys probably been watching the snow coming down behind me. Now, you see this balcony? I have, I think 4 times. So when I came back from a trip, I had to came back from a LifeWave cruise that I earned. I had to shovel a little bit of snow off. And then a couple of days later, we started getting lots of snow. And then it was so powdery, so easy. I could just shovel it right off. But it was like, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or something like that. So that night it came down big, right? I got up the next morning, there were feet of snow on. So I have a couple of balconies that I shovel, and I have a driveway that I have a crew that comes in and takes care of that for me. Thank God. That would be a lot of work. But so I got out my blower and blew it off, and a little while later had to blow it off again. Still wasn't enough, and I think I've been out there 3 or 4 times. Now, unfortunately, with all the snow, and we had a blizzard pretty much, it was like blowing hard, and snow was coming down hard and piling up very fast. Probably at least 1.5 foot, I would say every 12 hours or so. But unfortunately, we had 8, and I believe it's 9. We got 1 that's still missing. They rescued 6 from an avalanche close to where I'm at, and they're out doing survival training or something. They were out in the wilderness, and they were coming back and probably trying to get the hell out of there because the snow started coming down a lot faster, a lot harder than anybody anticipated. Although I said that it would overperform. So that's what we have now. We're going to get another one. We're going to a little break after this last little piece of snow we're getting right now. 1.5 days, and then we're going to get another a pretty good pump, atmospheric pump. And I said that we're going to get these, so here it is. But unfortunately, for 9 people, they did not survive this avalanche, and it's the most people that have ever died in the United States, at least, of an avalanche yet. So very sad. So let me share a screen, and we'll talk about a little bit of this.
Learning that it's 8 backcountry skiers that have been found dead after that avalanche near Lake Tahoe. 1 more skier is still missing at this hour. You may remember we've been reporting that the roaring snow buried a group of 15 skiers there near Truckee in the Sierra Nevada mountains last night. Rescue crews have been out ever since, and now they've managed to find 6 survivors. But the dangerous weather is hampering the search for that remaining skier. That includes the threat of new avalanches. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
All right, so very, very unfortunate. This happens. We had a lot of snow that came in, and then we had a pretty significant break, and we had warm temperatures. So we got a melt, and it freezes, melt and freeze. So it's like slick, and then you get another big dump like we just had, and it can come off that, right? All of that weight of that new powder on that slicked, icy remains of the last storm we had like 5-6 weeks ago or something, and it causes avalanches, right? So the avalanche warnings were out there, but these guys are already in the backcountry. I guess more details will probably come out in the future. So here's one guy describing, I've been through all this training as well for looking for people, and you have beacons on and all kind of stuff. So this one gentleman's going to talk about it.
3's Brian Hickey in the high country right now. Brian, you're a very experienced backcountry skier. You know a lot about avalanches. What's your first takeaway after listening to that press conference?
Well, first off, it's just the totality. I mean, it confirmed what we had all feared, that the number of deceased likely at 9. The sheriff saying clearly that this search for this final 9th victim is a recovery, not a rescue effort. So while they have recovered the bodies of 8, is at this time presumed that there's 9 people. And in my time here in the Sierra, I have not seen anything of this magnitude. We have certainly seen multiple fatalities in other avalanches, but nothing of this size. And just given the conditions that we have out here, it has not stopped snowing. I'm at Alpine Meadows right now, on the Alpine Meadows side of Palisades, Tahoe. The snow continues to come down. And just thinking about those searchers that had gone out in these conditions last night, I have backcountry skied at night before, and it's a whole different experience. And then when you have a looming hazard that you know is there, it already presented itself once, and you really have to tip your hat to these rescuers who went out in those conditions. Driving last night from the Palisades Tahoe side to the Alpine side, just in a vehicle was a white knuckle, scary proposition. Now imagine doing that on foot or in a snowcat, knowing that there's looming snowfields above you. But it's something those rescuers willingly did as volunteers, knowing the danger, but also knowing that if they didn't get there, those other 6 may not be there to rescue today. So you really got to tip your hat to those rescuers and the effort that they went to last night to get those folks out of there. They were able to locate the 8, as you heard. They were using beacons, that all of the clients had beacons. I have been on the guide company's website, and as expected, everyone was required to have a beacon, shovel, or probe. That's standard gear that you would carry in the backcountry. And if you didn't have it, they would require you to rent it so that everyone had that. And so when they got on scene, they were able to.
All right, so that the last person, unfortunately, probably got moved down the slope a little bit further than everybody else that they're able to locate. Maybe his beacon died out or something, but you know, they're gonna have to get online and go down the avalanche path and poke and prod and eventually find that body, or sometime in the spring, because this happens too when people go missing. And they can't find them. They just wait till the thaw, and then they go out and hunt, and they find them, right? So it is beautiful, very beautiful, but you have to be prepared, and you have to be aware and so forth. So, and even those guys were like, you know, they were like experts, and you know, avalanche doesn't care, right? You be an expert or not. You get to be, maybe somebody wasn't using their intuition there. I don't know, but intuition is the way. All right. For over 25 years, leaders of Venezuela have abused their positions of public trust. All right. This was shared with me by Sheila Home. And it's basically the document that they used to go in and legally arrest Maduro. All right. So, United States District Court, Southern District of New York, Nicolas Maduro Moros, and then I think a couple of his children. Yeah, keep it in the family. So over 25 years, leaders of Venezuela have abused their positions of public trust and corrupted once legitimate institutions to import tons of cocaine into the United States. So would this kind of, couldn't they do something like this for that governor of Colorado? Yeah. And why haven't they? All right, so Nicholas is at the forefront of that corruption and has partnered with his co-conspirators to use illegally obtained authority and institutions he corroded to transport thousands of tons of cocaine to the United States. All right, this was for over 25 years, and I guess they finally decided to stop it. So who knows what this is going to be, what the long-term effect of this. So obviously, you know, he's been there for a long time, so they're probably going to hit him up for a lot of this stuff. So there's like several people that I don't know if they got these other people that they have listed here or not. So the narco-terrorist organizations working in partnership with the defendants, the FARC, since its founding in 1964. Largest producers of cocaine in the world. And they talk about all these different organizations. ELN has operated in Colombian terrorist group since 1965. Kidnappings, killing Americans, and so forth. Sinaloa cartel, where have we seen them? Colorado, right? Based in the Mexican state of Sinaloa, has its roots in the late 1980s when the so-called Mexican Federation functioned as a council. So the Mexicans were transporting the Venezuelan cocaine into America for decades. So that's why we're going after Mexico as well. All right. So there's the legality of it. They've already got it set up, and see there the Zetas. All these different cartel groups are basically going to go down. We're going to find out just how much these governors and these politicians are connected with them, right? And it's going to be substantial, absolutely substantial. I predicted this, and it'll be Sean Ryan's no different from Joe Rogan. Opinions. So now, so we have all the, like here, we have all this snow, and I know a lot of you have experienced snow in some places, record snow and record cold. But even with the cold and even with the rain and the snows and so forth, they can still do fires, right? They can still do fires. And I predicted that even with all the snow and the rains, so epic rains that have been falling, not everywhere gets snow. It's like the rest of California and Nevada and Utah, and Utah's getting snow, Colorado's getting snow. So a lot of places are getting snow and rain and so forth, but they can still do these fires, guys. And I predict that California's going to burn because it's profitable. It's profitable for these evil efforts to burn us, right? And they like to burn us because they kill a lot of us with the smoke. Now, if you've listened to the guy that I brought on, that's the fire horse guy, all right? So William Simpson. So he's talked about how smoke inhalation every year, not just in California, the UCLA did a study where it's like upwards of 5,500 a year are dying from smoke inhalation from wildfires. So you don't hear about this. So other studies have looked at around the country where the wildfires are, 36,000 die from the wildfires. Now, William Simpson, his wife died from smoke inhalation, and the doctors couldn't do anything to save her. And she fell apart. I mean, she started losing her extremities, use of her extremities, eventually got to the point where she, unfortunately passed. So he's out promoting, the wild horses to graze the land. It's absolutely, if you hear his story, it's like, duh, everywhere in the United States, these wild horses could go out there and graze in lots of areas where there's massive fires. But, that's the federal government. They're not, especially California, where he's at. They're going to, resist and resist heavily. Now, here we have fires, and you're not probably going to hear about this, but yes, you will, because I'm playing it. And Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, he's playing it.
Raging right now in Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas City.
Powerful gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour, combined with critically dry conditions and unseasonably warm temperatures, fueled an explosive outbreak of wildfires across the southwestern United States, particularly in the Great Plains region. Thick plumes of smoke rose dramatically over multiple states as fast-moving blazes threatened communities and infrastructure. The most significant incident, designated the Ranger Road Fire, originated in Beaver County, Oklahoma, and rapidly expanded from approximately 15,000 acres in the early afternoon to an estimated 145,000 acres, or, in some reports, exceeding 155,000 acres within hours. Driven by relentless winds, the fire crossed state lines into southwestern Kansas, prompting mandatory evacuations in rural towns including Englewood, Ashland, and Tyrone. Additional evacuations were ordered in parts of Woodward, Oklahoma, affecting thousands of residents. Local footage captured by affiliates such as KOCO showed towering columns of smoke near Woodward, Oklahoma, with flames advancing through grasslands and threatening structures. Numerous outbuildings have been reported destroyed, and at least 4 firefighters sustained injuries while battling the blazes.
You heard that right. She said over 145,000 acres. And I thought to myself, it's very interesting that all these fires would pop off at once. And then I started thinking about the date on which they started popping off, the 17th. Now, did you guys know that we had a lunar eclipse called the Ring of Fire? Check this out.
Okay, guys, gematria. They're all about gematria. And they like to make these things. They can create these things and they get away with it until we start to call them out. So you have to start to recognize this stuff, and then we can start shutting them down.
And seriously, my hearts and prayers are with all the people being affected by this stuff, but we got to kind of read between the lines, okay? I don't think that this is any kind of just accident. It's not some climate-related thing. It didn't just happen, okay? I find it very interesting. Also, there's a large storm moving through the Midwest, and somehow I think that that smoke and all that char and the smoke in the air gets in there with the chemtrail stuff, strictly a conspiracy theory video. And then it's going to be moving over the Midwest and into the Great Plains, and that's going to cause a lot of tornadoes. They're already calling for hail. It's very strong winds and everything else, so we'll see how that plays out. Footage I'm about to show you is of a farmer who is trying to save his cattle. There's a lot of cattle that require and use that land that's being burned, 145,000 acres.
So why would they burn that land? Take away our food source, kill more of us. Now, thanks to this farmer, this one farmer, he's out there getting it, trying to save his cattle. Good man. Sad to see this though.
I think it's no coincidence that the eclipse was called the Ring of Fire, okay? On the 17th, I'm not sure if you know this or not, 6 elements of the year of the fire horse, February 17th, 2026 to February 5th, 2027, fire.
All right, for the next year, this is what it's going to be like, guys. So watch how he watch this information as he brings it out.
Passion intensifies. What once flickered now blazes. Your inner spark will not be ignored. I just find this very interesting. Movement, energy surges forward, delays dissolve, and once circled aimlessly now finds clear direction. Courage, boldness rises naturally. You speak sooner, you act decisively, you trust yourself deeply. Freedom, restrictions loosen, old roles fall away. You choose expansion over obligation. Speed. Acceleration defines the year. Decisions come swiftly and results follow just as quickly. Rebirth. Reinvention becomes inevitable. A stronger version of you emerges, untamed, unapologetic, and unstoppable. So I just wanted to put all this together for you guys.
All right, awesome stuff. So yeah, speed. So this stuff is going to start coming at us faster. You're like, God, you wake up and it's like the world has changed when you wake up in the morning. And when you're up for several hours, it's like more information, more change. It's definitely going at a rapid pace. So we're going to change. We're going to have more freedom to a certain extent, but we're going to have to fight for it, I think. So, it's like the British didn't give us our freedom. Yeah. And the Islamists are going to try and steal it from us and create a Islamist state here in America. So we're going to have to fight that, right? All right, guys. Lots of stuff that's coming. And, you know, some of these truthers out there, like Tucker Carlson, detained in Israel. So the journalist was dragged into an interrogation room as explosive interview sparks diplomatic firestorm. So the, I guess, ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, was having some kind of little, you think everything's bad here, you know, the Israelis doing this and that, Hamas and blah, blah, blah. You come over here, we'll have a talk about it. So Tucker took them all up on it, I guess, flew over, and they, like, you know, seized him. So it's like, screw this, and they left. So that's kind of the way things are happening now. You're going to, you know, have some success in some areas, and you're going to get, you know, stopped out in others. And, you know, who knows how far that, you know, restriction, when you talk about Israel and so forth, is how far it's going to go, right? Because it's been talked that, you know, if you talk about certain things, then you're going to get shut down. Well, that's been going on for a long time. But I guess they decide and they choose. Now, a lot of people think that things are going to, like, you know, lock down at some point. The internet's going to go down, all of these different things. It's a possibility. I mean, anything's possible, right? But I think it will be probably in certain areas we'll get the lockdown, because we've already seen that, how certain areas, you know, lose their internet and their phone coverage and so forth. I think that's testing that's going on, or who knows. But those areas that get it are, I know, we'll see what areas are going to get shut down while operations are ongoing. Colorado, Denver, you name it, in Illinois, right? And New York City, of course. I guess Mamdani, they don't like him already. He's only been there, what, 2-3 months or whatever, and they're not liking him, right? Well, how about that? You voted him in there, and you thought he was going to give you everything, like Democrats do, and now he's saying no. Because why? Because he's an Islamist. All right, so he's going to take, kind of like the Colorado governor. He's going to take and take and take and take, and anyone that speaks out, they're going to put them in prison, like Teeny Peters. And if they can, they'll get away with, you know, stopping anybody out that could come and, you know, stop them out, like they tried to do with Trump. Oh, he got the last word on that one, didn't he? Yeah, took away their money. So, but they'll get it back. They'll, you know, do some more child trafficking and, you know, drug trafficking. Sinaloa cartel come in stronger and pump the cocaine or whatever. So they have their ways, and they're going to continue until we take them down. All right. I don't know what the hell the stop is. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? All right, guys, that's all I got for now.